For exercise 4, I'll be covering big data, how Canada is using big data, and its relevance to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. First, let's talk about big data, what it is, and what the 6 V's of big data are. Big data is about huge amounts of data that are too large to be processed through the typical systems that we use for data analysis, like Excel. Instead, we have had to develop new technologies capable of storing, processing, and analyzing big data. The 6 V's of big data are volume, how much data is there? This varies, but it is important to understand how much you will be working with to understand what tools can be applied. Variety, what is the level of structure? This can vary from structured, such as entries in a table, to unstructured, such as images on a camera reel. Velocity, how fast is the data being created? This can be rapid, such as user content on a social media platform, or slower, like reading from weather sensors around the globe. Veracity, how trustworthy is the data? User-created data may not be trustworthy if the sentiment doesn't actually correlate to the action, or data can be nearly ironclad, such as the reading from a temperature sensor. Value, what is the economic outcome from the data? How is this useful, and how can it be made profitable? Social media sentiment data may be very valuable to a company trying to understand user sentiment on their product. Variability, how can it be understood and displayed? How can this data be processed into actionable information, and how can it be viewed in a way that an individual can understand? Who is using big data? Well, agriculture is using big data to understand climatic trends. Medical industry is using big data to understand how different treatments affect patient outcomes on the large scale. Energy networks are using it to better understand the demands that might be placed on an energy grid in the future. And finance is using it to understand macro trends in the global economy. Where is big data being applied globally? Consulting firms are using it to understand internal and external factors that an organization faces, such as how an organization's competitors are performing and how macroeconomic forces are influencing different organizations. Agriculture can use it to attempt to understand and prepare for climatic changes that are impacting the global efforts to produce enough food for a ballooning population. And lastly, transportation. Big data can be used to understand traffic patterns in a variety of transportation networks to identify areas for improvement. Many big data applications require the use of AI systems that are capable of understanding the data that is being presented currently. So, why are they using big data? Let's take a look at one of the world's largest consulting firms, Bain & Company, and how they are using big data to benefit their offerings. So for strengths, the work they do with current organizations gives them access to incredible levels of structured data. This has the potential for allowing them to kickstart their big data program much faster than what smaller firms would be able to. Opportunities. They could analyze customer data across multiple industries to understand consumer trends in real time. This would allow them to position clients to quickly capitalize on the next big thing before anyone else realizes what it is. Weaknesses. This would require a sizable capital outlay. They would either need to invest in computer systems and software themselves, or they would need to add the expense of hosting this data elsewhere. Either way, this would tie up their ability to invest in other technologies that are available at lower costs. Threats. Including the risk that customers realize they can develop their own insights using software and their internally generated data. They may view big data insights as a substitute for consulting with Bain & Company. So what are the barriers to big data? Well, a few of them are security. How can this data be stored safely while still being distributed? Advances in encryption technology are helping, but organizations are still concerned about fallout from risking computer data. Computing power, trying to centralize that versus making computation possible through distributed computing. Data storage. As the global community creates data at faster velocities, finding new storage techniques, including different media and compression technologies, is more important than ever. How to deal with unstructured data. Advances in AI will hopefully help. And finally, regulation. What will legislators settle on allowing organizations to do with consumer-generated data, and who owns the data that consumers generate? So, how will big data help make the world a better place by supporting the achievement of sustainable development goals? To name a few, big data will help enable more affordable and clean energy efforts to succeed by understanding the forecast for power needs and preparing the network to handle load spikes. Next, in industry, big data allows organizations to better understand customer needs and produce simpler, innovative products with minimal excess. Finally, in climate change, big data can be used in the acquisition of climatic sensors data around the globe to enable understanding of climate change in real time. Historical data and current data can all be combined and then understood through the use of AI. And to finish it off, here are 2 truths and 1 lie. So are there 7 V's of big data? Can big data work with AI systems? Or can big data pull from IoT devices? Comment below with your answer, and thanks for watching.